What up, what up, what up? Ooh, guess we gotta hit a little ritual first. It's been a minute. Well, I mean, I've been on here, but it's been a minute since I did I'm gonna do a video like this. Video probably gonna be about a good hour, 30 minutes long, hopefully. Whatever my phone permits. Speaking of which, I think I gotta clear some space on my phone too. But earlier I had posted a video called Genesis. Oh, the Genesis. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna rename it the Genesis of You. But I want to get into a concept real quick, and I speak a lot about this on this channel, about how many things influence us, how much of a percentage of thoughts in our mind are actually our own, the ideas, the concepts, the foundations that we have, how much of this is based off yourself or what you've observed or what you've been taught. That's one thing that I like to dive into when it comes to, you know, just speaking on certain things and making videos like this. And so, going back to the video I did previously, which was actually a couple hours ago, I just went to sleep and boom, we here. So, I spoke that in that video that I was meditating and pondering on just, you know, life and the connection to life, and incorporating a more encompassing term for me, not something I want to go out here and preach or want to say this is the new term, this is what we should call ourselves. No, just something from my own understanding to move in this world. Because when it comes to life, when you're born, you're getting flooded externally with all this information, with just everything. This is how you're supposed to do things. You're looking at things, you're observing things, you're soaking in information from your surroundings. So it's a lot of external just simulation, and it takes a certain type of person to lean or rely more on what's going on inside rather than outside. A lot of times when you hear about people who can even, you know, my gut feeling or my intuition, a lot of times the people who follow more of that type of path in life or lifestyle, because think about it, you have people who are very logical. They're not, I wouldn't say they're not relying on their gut feeling, but they're more relying on like mental, rational brain. What's the details? What's the specifics? Whereas a person who is relying more on intuition, who is relying more on their gut feeling, they don't really always need to see all the specifics. They can already just tell without getting all the information what this is or what's going on or what's at play. And so that lets you know, okay, there's a communication that's going on in the outside world, and there's a communication that's going on internally. There's a sense of, you could say, different ways of knowing, or different ways of knowing in order to get to whatever destination or manifestation or goal that you want in life. But for me personally, there's nothing wrong with defining your own reality and letting the outside world do what they do, or still saying, okay, you know what, y'all call this a tree, okay, collectively we've agreed. It's funny because when you have these certain talks, a lot of people would be like, oh, who are you to define your reality? Why would you call a tree a shish kebab or a lugala or a zobi doo or a bobbity boo? Like, that's what Dr. Seuss was trying to teach us. Just that, like, you can do whatever you want. You can call this that. You can do that. But it's the way we're taught. It's what we're ingrained with that, like, hardens our mind to the point where you can't even see outside of the box. You can't see outside of what you've been taught. And so, who's to say you can't? I can call a car. I've said this a lot. I've said this in multiple videos. I've said this, like, this same type of topic. But to go back to, the main point of the video, it all relates to each other. I know sometimes I could be teleporting and communicate. Like, I can teleport when I talk. Because I see the, connectivity and everything. But to go back to the Genesis, when I was pondering on this image, and I might show the image up, what came to mind, but it was just, blocks, and it was like illuminating blocks. And in this life, it's very interesting, because even as I'm thinking about this now, it's like, they say in science, you learn in school that everything, you start off as a microorganism, then you start again, your proteins, electrons, neutrons, everything is a building block. Everything is building off of each other to the point where, now you got flesh, bone, sight, senses, nervous system, all that good stuff, right? But then at the same time, when you come into this world, they try to make it seem like you don't know nothing. Go to school. You always got to get this information. To me in life, they put you more, especially starting off in life, they never give you your props for making it to be a human. Like, think about this. Even if you want to go the science route and say evolution, you got to give me the props for even evolving from a microorganism to a human being, which in science, we would be the highest, beings on this planet. So, you telling me I done made it from a microorganism to a human and I don't know nothing? Think about that shit real quick for a second. Like, and I think that's what always, like, that's what threw me off about this whole makeup of this planet. Really think about that. Let's even, like, we don't even got to talk about spirituality. We don't even have to talk about metaphysics, supernatural stuff, none of that. You telling me, and this is what I've learned from your program, that I started off as a microorganism and then literally evolved so much that now I am a human being, and you telling me I don't have no sense of direction, or I can't rely on myself at no capacity, but I made it to where I got this body right here? Like that, and that's like, it's like the okie doke. It's like you want to give me the truth, but then you want to at the same time put me in a point where it's like, I'm still under you. I'm still subservient to you. Because think about that. That's how a lot of people grow up. It's like, oh, well, I don't want to trust myself about my body. I'm not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Or, well, I was going to trust in myself in that moment, but who am I to do that? It's always like from schooling, from just that childhood experience. It's like you're constantly going through a process. Some of us, it's either you're like going through experiences, hopefully, that have you rely on yourself more, or unfortunately, it's like if you're going to school or you came up with certain parents or environment, it's like you're actually doubting yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a tricky slope. And to go back to what I said earlier, where it was like, well, how, like, inside, in this world, so you gotta learn this, you gotta do that, we gotta learn this, we gotta constantly, and like, yes, don't get me wrong, you always gotta expand yourself, but you have certain knowledges, you have certain knowledge and wisdom inside of you that is in no book. You don't need a book. You don't need nothing outside. And my man's Q always speak on this. Shout out to Q Reeves. Like, he speaks on this a lot. That's really only one of the first people. There's a couple other spiritualists I kind of see out here, but I've noticed a lot of people is real quick to hit you with the books, hit you with your ancient texts, hit you with the philosophies. And don't get me wrong, I've been there too, but it does get to the point where it's like I remember one point in my life, like, I was reading mainly P. Hall, Carl Jung, Robert Greene, like, nigga, the list goes on, nigga, what, like, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. David Blair, like, come on, bro, like, you know, like, I know the greats, like, I done did my reading, audiobooks, all types of lectures, all type of shit, like, so it's like, but I've noticed even in my life, it's like, bro, things have worked out more in my life when I've listened to myself. I have literally done leaps and bounds this year from my past self, just because this year I've literally just listened to myself. Like, the amount of progress I've made from just listening to myself in these last 5 years, especially recently, I've seen like things manifest happen to me instantly. Whereas it was like, well, let me go somebody else's way, or let me believe in somebody else. Then it was like, the shit would just be chaotic, or it would be all over the place, or it would just make no, like, it would just not come out how it was supposed to. And so going back, let's go back. Building blocks. So they love to tell you about building blocks in science. You got your proteins, DNA, you know, you come from your mom and your daddy, and they come together and you're building off of their genetics. But it's like, okay, boom, let's stop right there. That means that if I'm building up off their genetics, that means I should have the information from my ancestors. I should have the information not only from my ancestors, but just me too. I should have it's almost like a trifecta. It's like a trinity. Father, mother, son, father. You know what I'm saying? Because you're getting your energy, you have the knowledge from you have the information from your mom's side, you got the information from your pop's side, and you also have your own information from when you was like, okay, let's not fuck past lives. Not fuck past lives, but let's tone it down a notch. For all the people who don't believe in spirituality, let's tone it down a notch. You get your information from your mother. If you're gonna just start your genesis from your parents, let's not even get into past lives. Let's not even get into reincarnation. Let's just start from your parents. If you got your information from your father and your mother, then that means that you have certain information in you from your parents that's already, like, from your ancestors, from their two lineages, that's already embedded in you. So it's certain things you really don't have to, you already gonna know. Just because it's like, I have a lineage, I have a background, I have a previous code. That's like that's, and it's funny because it's like it's like, think about it, when we do technology, when we come out with a new phone, the new phone is not purely like just new. The cars, everything that we come out now with, yes, it's new, but it's new based off of a previous system or a previous item or whatever. It's like everything is building off of each other. So yes, it is new, but it's like new kinda, because it still has the remnants of the past. And I feel like that's kind of the disconnection for me. What was going on with me in this world is that, like, it was, and that's what I'm noticing too in myself. It was like, I wasn't good in school. So it kind of made me, like, when I got over to spirituality and I found myself that I, to me, even was even kind of like better at it with understanding the concepts and certain things they had going on, it made me just say, fuck science. It made me kind of even, and then with me already not being in school, I started to have even an animosity towards science. But now I'm realizing, no, bro, that's the problem. It's like science and spirituality need to come together. That's the issue. Like, the issue is that they're separated when really they need to be together. Like, the metaphysics need to be in the room with the scientists, and they both need to be open-minded, because that's how this real, they both start with an S. Like, spirituality, science, it creative, kundalini energy, serpent energy, life force energy. We're not even gonna get into, like, we already, like, if you know, you know. All it is one school of system using logic to understand life energy, and one is using a left brain, logic, scientific mind to understand life force energy and life and whatever simulation reality y'all want to say we in. And then the other is using right brain, more feminine constructs to understand life. But we need to bring them together, because I've noticed even in life, when you're too science, you restrict the mind and you block yourself out to new concepts. When you're too right brain, you don't ground yourself. You're just so goddamn up in the air and chakras and all this shit and da-da-da-da-da. And just, you're not grounding the information. You're just kind of just like in the air, just kind of like, and nothing, no one is wrong, but like, we need concreteness, we need understanding, we need foundation. That's what, that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I guess that was my Capricorn showing just now. But it's like, people need to make sense of the world. That's what we're here. We're making sense of the world. We're not being lost. I don't want to make people more confused than they already are. I don't want to be more confused than I already am. And so when I have these conversations and I have these videos, that's what it's for. It's to make sense of the world. It's to make sense of the confusion, the chaos that we all go through in life, and just try to act like, oh, it's just whatever. That's just what we do. No, the fuck, it ain't. That's weird. If we can solve out and come out with all these new things and come out with new phones, we can understand ourselves more. And so trust the building block of yourself. Trust the building block of you. Trust you. Trust your, they want to call it ancestors, whatever. Like, just trust you more. Because you, just like we rely on this phone, the phone is just like you. The computer is just like you. All this electronic stuff that we go to, it is based off of us. Everything that you see around you, especially when it comes to technology, it's based off of like nature and the human body. Like, that's what it's based off of. So when we go to these new items that we know, the new technology, look what we can do with it. It's the same thing with us, because you would not be able to enjoy that new technology if it wasn't for the first iPhone that didn't have all the amenities. But because of that first iPhone, because of the iPhone after that, and the iPhone after that, iPhone after that, now we're here. Where it's like, and it's like, it's easy to understand that concept, and a lot of people might be like, oh, duh, but it's like, no. Think about that when it relates internally to you. Not on no just like, well, yeah, I come from my granddad, and my granddad come from that. No, like, think about, like, if your granddad was a businessman, and your mama was a therapist, you probably naturally don't gotta really read shit. Like, you could probably go to school, all that shit cool, but you naturally have certain things ingrained in you that's like, you're gonna naturally know kind of how to handle people. You're gonna naturally kind of know like, oh, this person's lying. You're gonna naturally know like, oh, I'm being persuaded, because the people before you already went through those experiences. So like, when we think, that's why it was hard for me when sometimes it's like ancestors, energy, and it's like, actually, no, it's not hard to break down that concept to me, actually, if y'all think about it. Because it's actually like, you're just building off of each other. But it's like, they try to like, in this society, they try to like, tell you that, but then not tell you that at the same time, because they want to dumb your ass down. So it's like, I gotta give you the truth, but not too much, because I still gotta keep you a slave. So I always gotta keep you coming back to me, gotta keep you buying the phone, gotta keep you asking Siri, ChatGPT, and Google, gotta keep you going outside of yourself instead of going inside yourself for the information, because you've already damn near done that hella lives and experiences where you've been in certain situations. It's funny, shout out to my brother. My brother said this. He said, and I'm gonna end it after this example, but my brother even said it. My brother was like, they put rats in a maze, and they found out that like, they'll put a whole, I would say generation, but they'll put like a whole bunch of rats, like they'll get new rats and put in a maze. But what they found out was that like, after a while, the new rats that have never experienced a maze before, they was like knowing how to maneuver. Like, they were already kind of knowing, because of the prior like if you know about collective consciousness, I think it's like they have one experiment called the monkey effect or something, where I think one monkey learned something on one island and then another monkey started doing it, and all around the world all the monkeys started doing it. It's that collective consciousness. It's like we're all connected. So if you know we all connected, if you know we're all together, then it's like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like if you know how to tap in, you really could like just know how to do something, just go. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of like the Matrix, where you plugged it in the back of his head and he just started learning, like information just started coming in. Because if you really understand how we're connected, you really can't, like, the information is just out here. It's damn near just in the air. You just got to trust yourself to like be able to tune your brain and your frequency to it. That's really it. Like, unless you cut off from source, and then all you can do is rely on yourself, and you got to make this technology and all this stuff to understand the world around you. But if you connected like this with source, you just be like, hey, I know how to do this real quick. Download that shit for me. Y'all, and we talk about downloads all the time. Motherfuckers start reading tarot cards. Motherfuckers be, we gonna talk about your ex. Motherfuckers make an hour-long video about exes and the drama that's going on in a relationship and be like, oh, this is a download I got. This is a download I got. But it's like, here go a download. Let's download other things. Let's download other information other than just like the minuscule. Like, they'll give you start on that. I ain't even, this ain't even the video, but I'm out. This is it. I can tell this is what, yeah, the energy is, yeah, is. I done explained it as much as I needed to. Y'all be easy. It was nice chopping it up. I thought the video was gonna be longer. I guess I was able to compress it in 21 minutes. So, yeah. Y'all be easy. Peace.